There are a few universal truths in the year of our Lord 2025. Eggs are too damn expensive, Kendrick Lamar really hates Drake, and whenever Ubisoft releases a new game, it will be absolutely wrought with controversy. And Assassin's Creed Shadows was no exception to that rule. I avoided most of the coverage for Shadows prior to its release just because I wanted to form my own opinion and play the game for myself. And I just want to give a little disclaimer here that I've played all of the Assassin's Creed games and I've enjoyed them, but I'm not tied to the series. There are plenty of better games that come out, and I would lose zero sleep if Ubisoft decided never to release another Assassin's Creed game again. However, I am still interested enough in the series that I will try them out when they come out. With that being said, when Shadows was released, I downloaded it and I played it for about 40 hours, and I decided that it would be nice to share my initial impressions with you all. So without further ado, let's get into those initial impressions. I want to keep this video spoiler free, but there will be a few light spoilers, so just proceed as you see fit. Now, after my 40 hours, I have to say that I've been incredibly impressed with this game. My expectations for this game were relatively low, and the game has far surpassed that low threshold. Starting with the story, there's nothing innovative here. It's a run-of-the-mill revenge quest from what I can tell so far. Admittedly, I'm not terribly far into the story, but again, these are my first impressions. While the story has not been mind-blowing thus far, it's been good enough that I've been interested in wanting to progress it. One thing I will say about the story, though, is it is cutscene heavy. There are lots of cutscenes, and they are rather long at points, and this is really going to come down to personal preference. If you like cutscenes, you probably won't mind. Conversely, if you find yourself getting annoyed by long, drawn-out cutscenes, this game is definitely going to piss you off. I personally don't mind because I hate how in the other Assassin's Creed games, the player is forced to simply follow someone around for 5 minutes while they dump a ton of exposition on your forehead. Also, the cutscenes in the other games were always too short for my liking. It felt like they were trying to cram 20 minutes worth of information into a 2-minute cutscene, so I definitely prefer the longer cutscene. The dialogue is not great, to put it bluntly. The writing ranges from corny to fairly decent. The characters' facial animations and their voices sometimes also don't match up, and I can't put my finger on what is causing the issue. There are some times when it looks like the motion capture is what's letting it down. There are other times when it seems to be the voice acting. Regardless of what the issue is, I've not been impressed with the dialogue thus far. With that being said, though, the dialogue has not been so bad that it has pulled me out of my immersion. The gameplay is where this game has really shown for me. For those of you who don't know, in Shadows there are two playable characters, Naoe and Yasuke. Naoe is more of the archetypal assassin. She's a shinobi warrior. She's incredibly nimble and strikes best from the shadows, no pun intended. Yasuke is the complete opposite though. He is a hulking samurai. He's an absolute tank and is best for attacking head on. Naoe is the character I've spent most of my time playing as thus far, and she just fits how I prefer to play the Assassin's Creed games better, but I have to say, I've not hated my time with Yasuke either, and I think the reason for this is because the combat is so well done. The swordplay of Shadows is immensely satisfying. The combination of the animations, the sound design, and the haptics of the controller all come together here to create this delectable medley of death. The stealth is also much improved in this game. It's still Assassin's Creed stealth, meaning it requires whistling from the bushes and taking enemies out one by one. However, Ubisoft has made a few little tweaks that have vastly improved the stealth for me. The day and night cycle now plays a role. Enemies will be able to see the player better during the day, and also at night you can use the light to your advantage. The player can extinguish candles or use a shuriken to destroy a lamp, which will obscure the view of the enemies. They're also slightly more intelligent, emphasis on slightly here. If they're already alerted, they will approach your hiding area and you will not be able to assassinate them without a certain ability, which is a cool wrinkle. The enemy AI is not what I would call Einstein level intelligent, but these slight improvements have made the stealth scenarios much more enjoyable for me. While the story leaves a bit to be desired, the side content has been where I've spent most of my time. In the past, I've gotten annoyed with all the bogus question marks hiding useless collectibles all over the map, and I've been pleasantly surprised with Shadows. You will still be climbing to the top of viewpoints and synchronizing those viewpoints. However, the map is much less cluttered. Also, the question marks don't lead to just meaningless collectibles. The question marks mostly lead to castles, shrines, and little side missions specific to one of the playable characters. I've spent the majority of my 40 hours on this side content, to be honest. I'll start playing and then all of a sudden hours will have passed. So I would definitely say that the side content is quite engrossing for me. Visually, this is one of the most impressive games that I have ever seen. What Ubisoft has done with the landscapes, lighting, and weather is nothing short of remarkable. They've really captured the beauty of Japan here, and one of the most impressive things is the change of seasons. After a certain amount of time has passed, the player is able to change the season and the landscape will change around it. The detail on the weather is something else that has absolutely blown me away. I was climbing to the top of a viewpoint in the rain, and while I was about halfway up the tower, the rain stopped. As the rain stopped, I noticed that the rain was draining off the roof. Also, there were a few ponds and a castle that I was running through, and I came back to that same castle during the winter, and those ponds had frozen over. These little details don't mean much on their own, but these details add up, and in the aggregate, they have added to my immersion in this game. Now, I've heard some critics say that this is just a Ghost of Tsushima clone, which is absolutely laughable to me. There are certainly similarities between the two games, but I think they are forgetting that Ghost of Tsushima took a lot of things from the older Assassin's Creed games. And this is just what game developers do. They take each other's ideas and iterate on those ideas, and it feels really disingenuous to just say that this game is a Ghost of Tsushima clone. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a good game. It's not what I would call an amazing game, but it's good, and it's even ventured into great territory for me at points. It's not a game for everyone, but if you like the more recent Assassin's Creed RPG-like games, don't mind cutscenes, aren't looking for a deep, engrossing story, and are interested in medieval Japan, I think you'll really enjoy this game. I've seen a ton of videos since the game released, basically saying that individuals are pissed off because they almost did not give the game a try, just based on all the negativity around its launch. I get it, games are expensive, and with the sheer number of releases, consumers want to make sure that they are spending their money wisely. That totally makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there is definitely a danger that mob mentality will keep players from experiencing good games like Assassin's Creed Shadows. However, it seems like the tide is turning on Shadows, and all the negativity has not kept players from trying it out. This is not a must-play game by any means, but it is a good game. Thank you all for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've played Shadows and have some thoughts, feel free to comment down below and let's talk about them. Also, if you're still on the fence about the game, I'm still currently streaming the game over on Twitch, so come on over and check that out. Link is, of course, down below. Regardless, I hope you all have a beautiful time, and I will see you all in the next one.